If we ain't talking trillions, it ain't turning me on. You guys already know my deal. I'm always talking about how the $1 trillion problems are what turn me on. Ripple, one of the few companies in the space that's actually working to solve those. And I want to talk about why this new XRPL Clawback amendment is the next amendment that we need to pass to inevitably tokenize trillions of dollars on the XRPL. I'm going to explain it real quick in this video. Short, sweet, straight to the point, because I know it's Sunday. You guys got church, you guys got football, and so we're going to get right on into it. Now, the market is back up to start out today, 34,450. So up slightly. I guess I shouldn't call it a pump. Definitely not going to call it a pump. We're warming back up, though, this Sunday morning. 1792 for Ethereum, just below 1,800, and XRP at 55.5 cents. Back up about 1.65% for XRP. We're going to take a look at the chart, though, real quick. So what we have here is our Bitcoin spot ETF fake out, 33% bull trap rally, back-to-back eclipse ritual. I'm not going to go into it in depth here, but just to give you the warning, I believe that we're getting set up for the next sacrifice. Now, the eclipse was last night, lunar eclipse, and then on October 14th, we had the solar eclipse. That started the rally. On Monday, we got the fake news Bitcoin spot ETF approved, takes us up to 30,000. We're having a good time. All last week, we rally again based off of that news, rumor, narrative, and it takes us up to 35,000. What a good time. And I am warning our community that we are getting set up once again. Now, XRP back up to about 55 cents here today, and we recently just got up to almost 589, about 586, 587. Depending on your exchange. So we'll be watching that one closely. And then real quick, remember that gold did close out the week above 2,000, silver back above $23, and we absolutely love to see it. But let's talk about tokenizing trillions of dollars on the XRP ledger and why I think this clawback feature is going to be critical for actually getting stablecoins and CBDCs issued on the XRP ledger. They want the ability to claw transactions back, right? This is very common in payment processing, retail spending. You got to have the ability to bring it back. And think of how many, transactions are sent to the wrong address in crypto, right? Now, before I get into this, I want to make it very clear, very clear. This clawback amendment that they're proposing right now does not affect XRP. The native asset to the XRP ledger, XRP, can never be clawed back. If you send that XRP, it is gone. It is moving. It's going to whatever destination you send it to. So don't let anybody FUD you out or spread misinformation about this. This does not include XRP. What this includes is issued assets on the XRP ledger. So call them XRPL tokens. 90% of them are probably poop coins with no utility. We understand that. But these are issued assets. They're also called IOUs. And these are the tokens on top of the XRP ledger. So let's take a look here. This is XRP Scan, and we're checking the amendments right now. We have 5 amendments up for consideration. You guys heard us talk about the AMM. We now have 6 votes for the AMM, and so we're at 17% consensus. We need to reach 80. Now we're at 65% consensus on reduced offers. And then on clawback, we're only at 12 votes, so we're only at a 34% consensus so far, okay? Now, there's been some pushback, and I haven't gone through and seen who's all voted for what, but we do see that it does have twice as many votes right now as AMM. So we know AMM is critical, but I want to explain why I think clawback is absolutely critical. And after we get the clawback, we're going to see more CBDCs. We're going to see more issued assets put on the XRP ledger. And then we get to take those issued assets to the AMM liquidity pools. And this is where this gets exciting. Now, to get started here, folks, Crip and Raider put this together. To benefit token holders and enhance the likelihood of institutions making use of the XRPL, clawback must be implemented. And here's why. Trust and safety for CBDCs. Now, it's interesting to note, one would argue, well, we already have CBDCs that are being issued on the XRPL, right? We had the Plow stablecoin that was issued on XRPL mainnet, right? There's no clawback on those transactions. But I think that we all understand that this is going to be necessary for more adoption from institutions. And so we want trust and safety for CBDCs, compliance and control, ease of mind in terms of user interface, or that would be user experience, I should say. adaptability in fixing previously irreversible issues. Now, this is from the Apex Developer Summit that took place in Amsterdam just a couple months back. I'm not going to play this 2-minute clip, but what I will say is that he summarized it perfectly right here. When you want CBDC, when you want compliance control, this is the type of amendment that we're going to need on the XRPL that's really going to help more institutions issue assets on the XRPL. Lachlan Todd shares this one little thread here, and this really summarizes it perfectly. The proposed clawback feature is now open for voting by the XRPL community. There's been confusion and concern over its implications. Is it good or bad? This thread, plus full article link at bottom, will explain everything one should know. First, let's cover core XRPL concepts. You have IOUs, you have trust lines, and you have rippling. XRPL-based assets are issued currencies, aka IOU. And so that's what I'm talking about. The issued assets is, I think, the correct name for them. And he gives us an example. I give Bitstamp $100 of fiat. They $100 of any given token on the XRPL. And they now owe me $100, right? So that's why some people call them IOUs. Trust lines represent this bi-directional relationship. They connect my account with a token issuer. So, you know, there's been all these XRPL airdrops, right? Where essentially to launch these projects, these issued assets, what they've done is they've said, all you got to do is open up a trust line. Right now it costs 2 XRP to open up a trust line. For example, Reaper coin. That's one of the XRPL projects that we've had on the show. You know, Patrick Riley from Reaper. We've had him on the show. And I still hold Reaper today, full disclosure. And I received the drip payments, right? Well, to open up that trust line initially, I had to use 2 XRP to open that up. And then that allowed me to get the airdrops. And so this is why the trust lines, and some folks have talked about changing the amount required for those trust lines. But right now it's 2 XRP to open a trust line. And remember, they changed it from 20 XRP minimum to now 10 XRP to open up a wallet. So to open up a wallet, 10. To open up a trust line, to receive an issued asset or to buy an issued asset, 2 XRP, which I like that feature. You want to go buy another coin? It's going to cost you 2 XRP. You got to pay to play. I like that. So trust lines represent this bidirectional relationship. They connect my account with a token issuer. And this is what we need too. We need more issuers. And I think this clawback feature will bring more people here, along with all the additional amendments and utility that's coming to the XRPL on top of the legal clarity. This is where we get more folks wanting to come issue assets on the XRPL. My friend might have a separate trust line with a different issuer. If I sent them $10 of any asset, our trust line balances would change. This is called rippling, when 2+ trust lines shared the same currency are adjusted. Okay, where do we leave off? Right here. Now, there are potential XRPL issues: malicious intent, transaction spamming, money laundering, etc. Unlikely due to safeguards, but it is possible. Lost account access, lost keys, phishing attacks, etc. Other unforeseen issues. Keep in mind that the XRPL is institutionally focused, and definitely Ripple is institutionally focused, right? There are quite a few developers that are working on this, and they're focused on retail solutions, but for the most part, Ripple and what they're trying to steer the direction towards is institutional adoption. That means they have big legal checkboxes to tick. So how can the above be addressed? Both freezing and the clawback come into play. So right now there already is freezing on the XRPL. There are 3 types: individual, global, no freeze. Each varies but restricts one's ability to transact with a token on chain. Example, if an issuer's secret keys were stolen, they could use a global freeze to freeze funds. Freezes don't apply to XRP tokens. So you can't freeze XRP, the native asset, only issued assets. And they can be checked if actually active on any given token. Could this be abused? Yes, but doing so jeopardizes their reputation and could result in legal action. Those using the network in good faith shouldn't have concerns, in my opinion. Now, the clawback. So this is different from freezing. So we can't freeze XRP, and we will not be able to claw back XRP. Don't let anybody tell you that it's something different. The clawback feature claws assets back to the token issuer. This is similar to freezing, but has stirred up more controversy. My view: it supports institutional adoption by making legal and regulatory compliance easier. Assets with this feature enabled can easily be avoided. It's comparable to existing safeguards on other networks, example ERC20, USDC. that no one has an issue with. Note that XRP cannot be clawed back. Very important. Keep in mind that XRPL is being primarily adopted by institutions. It even has 5 countries now building on it. And great point by Lachlan Todd, but we have to add, right? We have 5 that have been announced, 5 that have not been announced, and 20 plus ongoing conversations with central banks and governments around the world. How can this be done without relevant safety measures? Criticism is welcome, but I view its opposition as being more harmful than beneficial, especially when assets with this enabled can just be avoided, right? So if you don't want to buy an issued asset that has this feature because you're worried that they're going to claw you back, then you can just avoid it, right? You don't have to use it. So it is now open for voting and requires 80% validator approval. Check out my full blog post here and check out my other work, including XRPL pieces. So appreciate this. Really do. DeFi researcher and writer Lachlan Todd with that thread, perfectly summarizing, right, the difference. You have your IOUs, issued assets. You already have the freeze capability on them, not on XRP. But then what we're looking to add here is the clawback feature to claw, transactions back to the issuer. And you might be saying, well, I don't want to, be involved in something where they could take my money back. Sure. But you got to think ahead of institutions that are issuing CBDCs, that are going to be issuing stable coins that, need to have this ability for compliance and regulation. Why I think this amendment is going to be so critical for institutional adoption. We're already getting plenty of institutional adoption without it, but it'll spur more issuers coming to the XRPL and issuing stablecoins and CBDCs with this feature capability. And after doing that, then that token, that IOU that they create, and let's use the Bank of England for an example. Let's say the Bank of England wants to be an issuer and come issue pounds, the digital pound, on the XRPL. And maybe they might be considering that because Ripple's been a part of the Digital Pound Foundation since its inception, right? And Ripple's been a Bank of England partner since, 2018 and beyond? So there might be something there. Don't we dare speculate. They want to go issue the digital pound on the XRPL. They got the clawback feature now, so that helps, gives them a little bit more abilities. And so they go and they issue the digital pound on the XRPL. Great. Now we have the issued asset, and the issuer is going to be the Bank of England. And so you can decide, do I trust the Bank of England? Do I want, digital pounds? And then where that goes next is to the AMM liquidity pool. And so then we got the XRP digital pound liquidity pool that then gets built out from there. And this is where we start to see trillions of dollars getting tokenized and, trillions of dollars worth of value put on the XRPL. And then we get those flows of liquidity in between those liquidity pairs. This is where we source some of the best liquidity in the world on the XRPL. I think this clawback feature is going to be so critical to getting further institutional adoption. And then you got to think of all the retail use cases too, right? You always have, credit cards and payment processors. They all have the chargeback and, essentially clawbacks already in place. And so they're going to need this going forward. So I think the clawback's critical. It's going to bring more issuers to the asset and more issued assets. And then in return, that's going to bring more liquidity pairs, more liquidity pools between said currencies. And we, I believe, need this because you have, already dozens of central banks and governments that are already talking with Ripple, thinking of using the XRPL. But we need more issued assets on the XRPL, right? We need US dollars, which we already have. You have Bitstamp and you have GateHub, who are two of the biggest issuers on the XRPL, but we need more issuers. Right now we have Bitstamp, we have GateHub. I don't know if Ripple's an issuer. I guess could you call them an issuer of the XRP, maybe? I don't know what the technical term of that is. But nonetheless, you get my point. We need, the Bank of England to issue digital pounds. And where I'm excited to see this going forward is Ripple's on-demand liquidity partners like SBI doing a digital yen on the XRPL, right? You see where this goes? So SBI, Bank of Japan doesn't want to issue the asset on the XRPL, or maybe they do, but instead of waiting around for them to do so, SBI could just say, okay, we're going to tokenize and issue digital yen on the XRPL, and then we get to build out that liquidity pool on the AMM, and you see where this goes. And say we want to fire up, issue the Philippine peso on the XRPL. You got plenty of ODL partners in the Philippines like Tranglo and others, Coins PH, that could issue that asset. So we need more issuers, which will bring more issued assets, and that's just going to bring more liquidity. And that's why I say we are going to tokenize trillions of dollars of value on the XRPL, and then we're going to be moving trillions of dollars on the XRPL, and it might equal or equate to a higher than 55-cent XRP. It just might. So let me know what you guys think of the clawback feature. Really excited to share some of these XRPL amendments, try to break them down and make them simple for doofus morons like myself that aren't technical guys. So we simplify it, we break it down, and I hope you guys appreciate this quick update. Hope everyone has a blessed Sunday, and on the way out, if you haven't already, let's smash it. Make sure we subscribe, hit that notification bell, and get tapped in with our Patreon exclusive community over at my website, ZachRector.com. I will see you guys in the next one. God bless.